It's No-Box Art Box time. Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. Today we are tackling the March 2022 ScrawlrBox. I am so excited. Let's get into it. The March 2022 ScrawlrBox features a 6-pack of gray-toned alcohol markers. The original is the robot-themed pack from Marabu Graphix. They are called the Marabu Graphix Sketch Markers. The Marabu markers are all a fine or bullet nib and chisel nib combination. The markers I am replacing with today are all brush and bullet nibs, just because that's what I buy, that's what I have. So they are 3 tones, a light, a medium, and a dark of warm grays and cool grays, and I have matched that as close as I can. I have 4 markers from Winsor Newton. We have cool grays 1, 3, and 5, and warm gray 4. And to round out the warm grays, I have Ohuhu RG 120 red gray 12 and RG 030 red gray 03. That's what we are using to mimic the robot color pack from Marabu Graphix Sketch Marker. They also sent a Copic Multiliner black in 03, and I have that exact pen, so we will be using it. They sent that same fancy koh-i-noor door pencil that has been in so many boxes lately. Once again, this is the same brand, the lesser line. I will be using B because I don't like the super soft leads, but I believe everybody in the real box got 3B. And they sent a Lyra Rembrandt polycolor colored pencil in the shade dark violet. You can pretty much use any colored pencil to replace that. I am using a Polychromos from Faber-Castell, and this is shade 137 blue violet. Finally, the paper option in the original box is an 8-sheet pad of A5 paper. It's just labeled ScrawlrBox white card, which means it's private labeled for ScrawlrBox and it is basic cardstock. So I have cut down an A5 size sheet, roughly, piece of my generic white cardstock from the scrapbooking section of Michael's. The Scrawlr Challenge prompt for March 2022 is Bionic Beings. Let's get into it. Reminder / notice if you weren't here last video, my external microphone stopped working entirely. It was on its way out and now it's completely broken. I'm not happy about it. I only bought it in January, but I have a much better microphone coming. It's on the way. We should have better audio again in about 2 weeks. I think that's how long it's going to take to get the mic and start having it appear in the filming again. So bear with me while I abuse this camera built-in microphone audio in Audacity, trying to get it to sound half decent. If you're wondering what this No-Box Art Box challenge is, I'm sure you noticed that that wasn't a legitimate ScrawlrBox, even though it came in a ScrawlrBox box. That's because I have subscribed to ScrawlrBox many times before. I have the actual boxes, but this is a challenge where we recreate art boxes using supplies that we already have, and there are so many reasons to do it. I introduced this challenge to YouTube back in 2018 so that I could catch up on all the boxes that I missed before I knew that this was a thing, but these days I do No-Box Art Box because I have too many supplies and I do not have all the money in the world, so I have absolutely no business maintaining subscriptions to these boxes. I'll pick up a 3-month to ScrawlrBox when I've got the points to redeem a coupon for it, or I'll go buy a back order box that I really must have. But I'm not subscribing continuously anymore because it's just not financially worth it to me with all of the supplies I already have. So this is a way just to stay in the game and continue to enjoy subscription boxes. Other reasons that you could be doing this, maybe you are wanting to try subscription boxes but you don't want to financially invest before you've really tried it. So this is a great way to try the concept of art boxes, see if you would like them, see if a company is something that you would enjoy before you actually spend. It's a way to experience the other brands, the other companies that you want to try, but you are still subscribing to something else and you can't afford both, and that's okay. It's a great way to just get inspired. It's a great way to force yourself to use supplies that maybe you aren't using, or maybe in a different way. It's also a great way to re-experience a box you got in the past. If you want to do the No-Box Art Box Challenge, there are 3 easy steps. Step 1, pick an art or craft supply subscription box service, any of them. Pick a past month that already shipped and look up what was in the box. Step 2, Match the supplies in the box as close as possible using items that you already own. Don't go shopping for a specific box for this challenge, that is not the point. You are allowed to recreate a box that you got in the past. If that's the case, don't use those exact supplies. That would be cheating. If you are recreating a box that you never got before, then exact matches are perfectly fine if you have that exact item. Step 3. Make art. Try to stick to just what you've matched, and if the original box had a challenge prompt or a theme, try to stick to that. Only add missing essentials such as a pencil or a piece of paper. If you share your NoBox Artbox challenge artwork on social media, use the hashtag NoBoxArtbox so that we can all see it and enjoy it. And if you make a YouTube video, go ahead and send me the link so that I can add you to the master playlist for this challenge. You don't have to do boxes that I have done. You don't have to do this one. You don't have to do ones I've done in the past. You can do any box out there. It really doesn't matter. You can use the hashtag, you can send me the link, and I will respond. I will link you up, all that good stuff. This box in particular is really interesting, and I was really excited to do it because of those Marabu Graphix markers. I love the Marabu brand. I have so many of their products, and I have been impatiently waiting for my favorite Canadian chain that does carry a lot of the Marabu products to actually pick up the alcohol markers, and they haven't yet. So who knows, I may end up back ordering this box directly from ScrawlrBox just to have them. I have already gone ahead and done my pricing research for this box, so let me just run through it a little bit. I'm not going to do every single detail. All of this will be in the description box down below. As per usual with all of my Artbox videos, I have done my research. I have figured out what the RRP or MSRP is in pounds sterling because this is a UK company, but also converted or researched in US dollars and Canadian dollars. And I've gone and I've researched what this would actually cost if you were going to buy those items individually at major online retailers for those three regions. We've totaled the retail price, we've totaled the sale price, and we're going to then compare that to your subscription and shipping cost depending on how long you're subscribing to ScrawlrBox for and where you're subscribing from. ScrawlrBox currently starts at £16.95 per box. That does get slightly cheaper if you are prepaying several months at a time. Used to get a lot cheaper, not so much anymore. Brexit, all of that, yada yada. If you are a UK subscriber, shipping is free. If you are an international subscriber, shipping differs per box depending on where you're subscribing from. It used to be £5 everywhere. It differs now, and now North Americans are paying £7 per box, so that's what we're using in the calculations. So Marabu Graphix Sketch Markers Alpha Robot set of 6. I was only able to find an MSRP on this in US dollars, not an RRP in pounds, so I had to convert. MSRP is $17.99 US. That converts to an RRP of £13.76, but I think that's wrong. I think it has a separate RRP in the UK because Great Art is selling it for £15.99, which you'll notice is more expensive. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a 6-pack of alcohol-based markers. They are a bullet and chisel nib combination. You get cool gray deep, cool gray light, warm gray deep, warm gray light. I was not able to find a Canadian price for it because the only chain I know of outside of Amazon that carries Marabu in Canada is Curry's, and they don't have the alcohol markers yet. So for Canadians, this box is going to be a great deal if this is something that you are looking for, the Marabu alcohol markers, because you can't get it. You really can't get it. So it doesn't matter how much you are or are not saving here. If you want these markers, you're better off getting this box. I do like the fact that it is a set of grays. The 3 warms and 3 cools, that is an interesting combination. You are going to get interesting things with that. It also would have been interesting to see a black and 5 tones of a neutral gray. That would also be an interesting 6-pack. If you've had the opportunity to try Marabu's alcohol markers, what are they like? Are they comparable to other budget alcohol markers? Are they comparable to more expensive alcohol markers? The way the barrels are designed really reminds me of all of the different Touch brand markers out there, so I wonder if they compare to that. The koh-i-noor Toison d'Or graphite pencil, that's just a high-end graphite pencil, nothing really to talk about. That has an RRP of £1.47 or $1.95 US. That's going to be cheaper everywhere else you're going to find it. That is definitely not the value in the box, but it's supposed to be. It's just It's just a pencil. You are going to have to provide your own eraser in this case and sharpener if it breaks or you don't like how sharp it is, but that's okay. Copic Multiliner Black 03, RRP is £3.70 or $3.99 US. You'll notice that that is not a direct conversion. Copic markers, Copic pens are more expensive in the UK market, apparently. Once again though, much cheaper everywhere else, easily found. This is not the thing adding value to the box. Lyra Rembrandt Polycolor Pencil Dark Violet. RRP is £1.72. That's a conversion from the MSRP $2.25 US. I was not able to find this as an open stock product on any of the UK sites, but all of the UK sites do sell sets. If you were to get this box and you really liked that colored pencil, you can at least buy sets, and they do start at just 12 pencils, so they're not going to break the bank. I'm honestly not sure if Lyra Rembrandt's Polycolor is one of their higher end or not. It does get confusing because koh-i-noor, the ones making the graphite pencil, they also have a line called Polycolor, and I believe for koh-i-noor, Polycolor is not their highest end, but I think for Lyra Rembrandt it is. So I think my choice to use the Polychromos from Faber-Castell over, say, the Gold Faber would be correct for the Lyra. Am I making any sense? I don't know. Interesting choice to send a dark violet. Everybody got a dark violet. It's not a randomized color. I have seen a lot of people's artwork on Instagram and on Facebook now, and yeah, interesting color choice, but it really pops. And again, interesting choice to use just plain cardstock. That is my go-to cheap alternative paper for alcohol ink markers. I'm glad to see a subscription box finally encouraging that. I would say it's better than basic layout pad because at least it's thick. Oftentimes when companies are sending out paper for alcohol markers, if they're not sending something that's specifically coded and designed for alcohol marker, oftentimes they're going to send Bristol paper, which is similar to cardstock but a very specific paper, or they'll send layout paper, which is very, very close to that coated paper, very, very thin, like tracing paper, like drafting paper, but a little more opaque. It's not coated, so it's not going to prevent bleeding. It really can't handle it. If you can't get the fancier papers, go with cardstock because that is thicker. It's not going to bleed through nearly as much, but it is still very smooth, not a whole lot of tooth to it, so you're going to be able to control where your ink goes. It's not going to do excessive amounts of feathering. I estimated that the RRP is going to be £2 on an 8-sheet A5 pad because that's about par for the course on the private labeled ScrawlrBox pads these days. I don't know for sure. I figured that was fair. The difference between RRP total and real world total, those calculations, that's the same regardless of what price you put on the pad, because obviously you can't price match a custom pad. Just based on numbers, just based on prices, this box is a good deal for UK and Canadian customers. You are saving a lot. Americans aren't saving a whole lot on the real world pricing because Dick Blick has such awesome deals and because you actually can get your hands on the Marabu Graphix markers. Again, as I already mentioned, Canadians, this box is going to be worth it for you if you are interested in trying the Marabu Graphix Sketch Marker alcohol markers, because not only are you saving as much as $9.44 Canadian on the 1-year subscription price for RRP, not only are you saving over $9. I don't know where else you're gonna get these markers. You're gonna pay some interesting shipping costs if you don't, I know that for sure. So like, may as well pay ScrawlrBox's shipping cost and get a box, right? I wasn't sure what I wanted to draw for this challenge. I considered doing some fan art of some YouTubers I know who use prosthetics. I thought that might be an interesting interpretation of Bionic Being. I have seen some people do the Borg Queen from Star Trek, and like, they've done such a good job. I don't want to steal the idea and not do it justice compared to what's already been done. And then I thought of Long John Silver from Disney's Treasure Planet. And I thought that is perfect. I love that movie. I really do like Silver overall as a character. He has his moments where he is definitely the villain, but he's a lovable villain. He's a flawed being and you can see the good in him. He's very, very similar to Jim in that way and also Jim's foil in other ways. Disney Treasure Planet, I could talk forever about how that movie was set up to fail, and it's a lost treasure that people just don't appreciate these days. So here's a little fan art for it that conveniently fits into the prompt for this ScrawlrBox that I'm recreating. Have you seen Treasure Planet? Do you like it? What do you think of it? I've always loved Treasure Island remake stories ever since my first grade teacher read us the original Treasure Island, just over the course of a month at story time, circle time after lunch. I think another great adaptation of Treasure Island would be the Muppet Treasure Island. I normally, secretly, confession here, normally don't like Muppet stuff. Like, I grew up on the Muppet Show. I like the Muppets when they're just being the Muppets, but I find, like, as the popularity of the Muppets were fading out in the early 2000s, they started to appear where they shouldn't be, and it got quite cringy. And then they disappeared for a while, and then all of a sudden, the last like 6-7 years, suddenly it's really popular for YouTubers and musicians and minor celebrities to just do an out-of-context piece with some of the Muppets, or with some of the Sesame Street guys, and not in kid stuff, just like unironically including them in their things. And it's just, there's just an uncanny valley / this is cheesy, cringy aspect of it. I don't like it. But I love Muppet Treasure Island because the human actors do such a good job in it. If you're not aware, Long John Silver in the Muppet Treasure Island, played by Tim Curry. Tim Curry, the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the voice of Hexus in Fern Gully, and so many other great things, really. Like, he's done so much. Do you think I did my piece justice? What do you think of this box? Did you get this box? What did you think of the supplies? Have you tried the Marabu Graphix alcohol markers before, and what do you think of them? And if you didn't, if you haven't, would you consider back ordering this box? If you can, will you? Do you wish you could? That kind of thing. Let's talk about it in the comments down below, and I will see you again on Friday with a Colors of the Month challenge sort of video. I'm not sure if I'm doing the actual Colors of the Month, or I just found out that Karen Markers are doing their own version of it. So one or the other, that's what we're doing on Friday. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!